Well, the countdown is on. Countdown to the primaries that will redefine the NPP in this election year. It's so close to the elections, and yet the incumbent party, the governing party, has decided to go ahead with these primaries in April for constituencies where they have members of parliament. And we're going to start our series tonight leading up to that April 25th day for the primaries across the country that many say will make or break the NPP. And so we're going to be assessing a few of the new faces who are trying now, entering the fray in an attempt to get into parliament. We are focusing tonight, both of them we're going to be examining tonight are from the stronghold of the party in the Ashanti region. If you win the Ashanti region, they say you're almost there in parliament. Now, we know that they wrapped up something very important this past weekend, the vetting of parliamentary aspirants for the upcoming primary. Controversies galore. Many people disqualified, even in the Ashanti region. We're hearing as many as 17 people have been disqualified. That in itself is controversial. The party says those people can petition and apply for a hearing. We'll see how that plays out. But some aspirants were disqualified in the vetting. A key of them, as I've indicated earlier, one of the key individuals raised a lot of eyebrows, Mr. Philip Adesing, who really came into the limelight when he represented the party in the election petition hearing at the Supreme Court. Some say he really paid his due then. He was given an opportunity, don't forget, in electorate in 2016. He lost. He lost the national elections to Zanetta Rawlings. He strided in the Eastern region. At the vetting stage, has been disqualified. The explanation we're hearing is that those who vetted him say he hasn't nurtured that particular constituency, and so they disqualified him. He's a notable name, but there have been others as well in the last few days. Now, the party has set April 25th for all that important primary. Now, there are some interesting names to watch going into the primary, certainly. Francis Asenso-Boakye is the Deputy Chief of Staff, and we know he's seeking to go to Parliament, one of the new faces. We also, Abu Jinapor, another Deputy Chief of Staff. He's been on the show before, also seeking to go to Parliament. He has no contest in the primary because his place has been wrapped up already. We have David Asante of the Let My Vote Count Alliance, also seeking to go into Parliament as well, another new face. Lawyer Michael Quay Jr., son of the Speaker of Parliament, Michael Quay, is also seeking to go to Parliament in a constituency many say is very tricky to win. We'll see how that works out for him. Kojo Frimpong, former sports journalist, used to be my colleague, were here and multimedia, also wants to go to Parliament. Okay. Very interesting individuals also, jostling to get in. Daughter of former Interior Minister Kwame Bartels, Sheila Bartels, is also seeking to go into Parliament. I mean, so there is a whole host of new faces who really want to get in there. But tonight we're focusing on two names in particular from the Ashanti region. John Kuma is a parliamentary aspirant in a Jusu constituency. Jusu constituency is a constituency currently occupied by the Deputy Transport Minister, Roads and Transport Minister, Mr. Diomi. And so some say that is a heavyweight. Can he survive this tussle? He's done this before, though, and didn't win. He's an entrepreneur, lawyer, politician, holds a BA in economics, currently the CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovative Program. And so he comes into this game with some gravitas, being a grassroots person with the youth. And so some say that is where his strength is. And then this gentleman has been speaking for the Education Ministry recently. He was on the show as well in the wake of the debacle surrounding the Get Fund scholarships. Speaking for the Education Ministry, parliamentary aspirant for Old Tafel constituency, a constituency that has been vacated by a stalwart in the NPP. Brain when it comes to the economy. He is the Minister for monitoring and evaluation, Dr. Anthony Akutose, who again had featured on this program a few months back, talking about his desire to leave the stage and do something else. And so he is seeking, among others though, everybody is a scramble there to replace Anthony Akutose. Currently the Public Relations Officer holds a Master's in Public Relations, Master's in Economic Policy, but has he got what it takes to win the particular seat? We'll see. Stay with us. When we return from the break, my guest is seated. This is part of an entire series of programs we're going to be doing in the lead up to that particular primary. We'll see what they have on offer, these new faces, starting with these two. Stay with us. In the studio tonight is Echo Vincent Asafua. He's a parliamentary aspirant for Otafo constituency. It was here short last week, if I'm not mistaken, and he's seeking to go into Parliament as on the ticket of the NPP. Also with me is John Kuma. He's a parliamentary aspirant for Ejusu constituency. That is a very interesting constituency because it's an incumbent there who is a deputy minister as well for roads and roads ministry, Mr. Jomi, who has been in Parliament for a few for a while now. How many years has it been?
3 terms.
Okay, so you're saying he's done his bit
to hand over the baton
to you, but this is not the first time you are going to come up against him.
Yes, yeah, this is the second time.
You lost the last time in the primary.
Yes,
and you think this time
he's
weakened.
This is the time.
So the last 2 times you tried, he was an opposition member of Parliament. What I mean is that the party was in opposition.
Yes.
Now he's an incumbent. The party is in power. He is a deputy minister. Comes with more gravitas for a very important ministry like the roads. That's actually when you actually believe that he's weakened and that you could take him.
Well, the constituency has a history. The previous member of Parliament, Honorable Ekosi Oseje, was there for 3 terms. He was the foreign minister at the time, and the current MP took over from him in the contest. So I believe that he too, having served 3 terms, it is clear that the constituency timetable for changes is due. And I've also done enough this time. I mean, previously, because it was my first contest, many of the constituents didn't know me. And but even that, I lost by a very slim margin. So I'm very hopeful that this time the electorates in Ejusu are going to give me the nod.
But you are in a very, I guess some say, very influential position now.
Yeah.
The president has appointed you to occupy the initiative entrepreneurial initiative. Why do you want to give that up?
Well, it's not giving up. It's moving up to do more for the country. If you are a CEO, you are able to do implementations of policy for the government. But if you become a member of Parliament, you are able to be part of the formulation of the policies and help in the direction of the country. So we are not giving up. I'm only going to add on to what I'm already doing to become more influential and helping to shape policy in the country.
Vincent, how did your vetting go?
Well, it was a very fantastic vetting, and I think that I spent less than 2 minutes at the vetting grounds, basically because the regional executives, the national executives, the constituency executives who were present at the vetting clearly had seen the work that I've done for the party, and so there was little to say to prove my worth, especially when...
It's been less than 2 minutes?
Less than 2 minutes.
I don't believe that. That's an
I spent, this is on record, and in fact, I made just one statement.
They neglected their duty to vet you.
No, it is because the people, or let me say, the regional executives who were supposed to do that, clearly knew my worth, and they themselves attested to the fact that I have worked for this party, and because of the person who is actually moving out of Parliament, that is Dr. Anthony Akutose, it is apt to get somebody who can also fit in that big or huge shoes. And I think that the vetting went on well for me, and I hope that the best person wins on the 25th of April.
They call you homeboy.
Absolutely.
Why homeboy?
I was born and bred there, especially
because... Oh, so that's what the homeboy is about. You know,
absolutely.
The homeboys when you back in the day,
all my friends,
you know.
family, no family members
he looks at
there.
the B too, you know.
No,
so
no. When you come to Tafo,
it has nothing to do with
when you come to Tafo today, they will tell you that Vincent is known as that young boy who used to sell bread on the streets, all the streets of Old Tafo. And there's this woman in the Tafo market called Sister Korea. She sells oil, or let me say palm oil. And this is the woman who used to take care of me when mom or dad was at work. And so I have never been a daddy B. Father has been a teacher, mom a teacher. So homeboy comes from the struggles and the aspirations of the Tafo people, and they know that I have struggled with them. I have schooled there. My primary education, that's basic education, has been in the constituency. Junior high school has been in the constituency. It is the senior high school that I went to, St. Hubert Seminary in Santasi. So when I get to the constituency and they call you homeboy, it means that for the first time since the creation of the old Tafo constituency in 2004, we are going to have somebody who was born and bred there to become a member of parliament for the constituency.
John, how did your vetting go?
It went very well. Okay. Yes.
Apart from yourself and Odiomi, obviously,
there's
who else?
Also Ejusu Broni, well, we call her Ejusu Broni, Abrapukwa. She's currently the CEO for La Palm Royal Beach Hotel.
Okay.
She's also contesting.
Okay, good. I see. So there are three of you.
Yes.
Okay. What's your nickname?
Prof. Kumar.
Say that again.
Prof. Kumar.
Where did that come from? What's that?
My colleagues and friends
call you Prof. Beyond the fact that you are currently you head the entrepreneurial, what is it called again? The agency you had.
Yeah.
Right. NPP. Exactly. Who is John Kumar really?
Well, John Kumar is a lawyer by profession. I am an entrepreneur too, and then also a politician. And I have worked very hard in this party. I am one of the founding fathers of the Young Patriots in NPP. I have been part of the national communications team of the NPP and very active at the grassroots level. So I believe that with my contribution so far and my vision for the constituency, I'm the best candidate to represent Ejusu in 2020 elections.
I mean, so I asked that question of him. Vincent, we from this side know you only as spokesperson for the education ministry. When I saw your name on the list, I was surprised. I have not known you as a... Yeah, I mean, if you are spokesperson for the education ministry, you must be a party person somewhere. But to be a party person to the point where you can then say, I want to contest and go to parliament, that took me by surprise. And you say you've paid your dues to the party.
Absolutely. I think, Evans, you have not followed me for the past 5 years, because if you did, you will know that in 2014, I was appointed as a special assistant to the current Second Lady of the Republic, Samira Bawumia. And in 2000, even before then, I was part of the national communication team. I has been part of the regional communication team of Ashanti region. And in 2017, when the exit of Nana Akomia and Professor Michael Quay and all the other communications towers in the party who left the fold of the communication outfit, I acted as one of the deputy communication directors for the party in 2017 briefly, before I was appointed to the Ministry of Education as the communications director. And so anybody who has followed me for the past 5-6 years knows that I am a strong party person. I have lived my life as a party person. I have believed in the ideologies and the philosophies of the NPP, that is the center-right liberal party. And so it is surprising to me that you don't know that I'm a party person. Of course, the appointment at the Ministry of Education is a political appointment, and you couldn't have been there if you are not a party person. And so we have paid our dues to the party, and everybody who has followed me since the days of even university, at the time that the exit of Nana Boache's tenure as president of TESCON, we became the next leadership of TESCON to be able to make sure that we broaden the base of the intellectuals from KNUST, and I was appointed as the PRO of TESCON in KNUST at the time. So Since university days, all our lives, everything that we've done with our lives have been NPP, and we've served this party from the university days up till now. And that is why we think that we also deserve to take up the mantle of leadership as far as the member of parliament is also concerned.
So and that's where I go next. This is serious business. This is parliament.
Absolutely.
About, right? I get it. This is a primary, so you have to first appeal to the core of the party in the constituency.
Yes.
But people in campaigning, though, what's your message to the people? To delegates in your constituency?
Well, we need to situate this in the context of what is the primordial motive of a parliamentarian. What is the duties of a parliamentarian? We know that apart from the tried knowledge of a parliamentarian legislating, there are other basic things that a parliamentarian should be doing. In fact, if you check Article 174 of 1992 Constitution, clearly there are financial responsibilities of a parliamentarian, because no tax is supposed to be imposed onto anybody or any company in this country without the approval of Parliament. Parliament also has that oversight responsibility over the executive and other functions, if I must say. And so we come to the table with some amount of inspiration, because whatever a member of Parliament should be doing should be able to reflect the ideas, the thinking, and the aspirations of its constituents. And that is what we are going to ensure, that we see these thinkings and aspirations in every bill that is going to be passed in Parliament, in every policy that is going to be approved by Parliament. And we are going to ensure that the people of Tafo-Pankrono are represented adequately to ensure that everybody is supposed to get its share of the national cake.
But so the message is what again?
The message is that the Vincent Eko Asifua administration, if elected, is going to ensure that beyond the tried knowledge,
if politicians don't use if,
because it's an election.
Yeah. They use when. You're so confident you're going to win. You're not confident.
That has not been realistic. You know why? Because it's an election. The people who are supposed to be electing you are supposed to see that you are the right person for them. It is their sole responsibility to choose you. You don't choose yourself. If they see you as worthy to be able to represent them in Parliament, so be it. And we are going to thank God for that. But we are going to also position ourselves in a way that we are going to be seen as worthy of representation for the people of Tafo-Pankrono. And so I hope that when we are given the opportunity, you should be able to represent them adequately for them to see strong leadership. I've already said that it is a huge shoe that Dr. Anthony Akoto Osei is going to leave. And that shoe will have to be filled to its utmost benefit for the people of Tafo-Pankrono. And I'm saying that the aspirations, the thinkings of the old Tafo constituents is supposed to be seen in every policy that is going to be approved in Parliament.
I'll come and interrogate that a bit more. John, is it an if or a when?
It's both if and when.
It can be both.
Because
you are either confident it's going to be a victory, or you are ditching on the line of uncertainty and say, if I win.
Yes.
Well, he's explaining why he's using if. What's your politician? What is it for you? Is it if you win or when you win?
What I would say is that the horses are ready for battle, but victory comes from the Lord.
Okay.
So
are you winning or?
Well, yes, I'm winning.
Okay, so it's a win. It's
yes,
not an if.
Yes, I'm
okay,
winning.
but so let's come back to the question about the message. I like the fact that you're young, and so there's a certain freshness you're bringing to this, but it has to reflect in the messaging. You've done this before. What's your message in 2020?
My message to the people of Ejiso is that this is the time to bring change to the development agenda.
Such a cliche.
Well,
isn't that word tired?
That's the only thing that cannot stop changing is change itself. So this is the time to bring some dynamism and new vision to what we are doing in Ejiso. I mean, apart from going to Parliament to make laws, we have to have a new development agenda for Ejiso constituency. And that's very key, especially when you are entering Kumasi. Ejiso constituency is one of the key that welcomes you to Kumasi. So we must have an agenda that really welcomes you properly into Kumasi and Ashanti region, being the stronghold of our party. We need to have a program on youth unemployment, on entrepreneurship being key to solving the joblessness of the youth of the area. We have huge potential for football in Ejuso. We also have Bonyere, which is the center for Kente, and as a key tourist center for Ghana and the constituency. So we have to look at tourism development using Kente as the key product. We also have a large farming community. I mean, apart from Ejuso being the major municipal city, there are other towns within the constituency that we have to look at how we improve their working conditions and welfare. So, yes, you go to Parliament to make the laws, but I am also looking at how I can become an effective agent for development of the area.
That is not the job of a member of Parliament.
Well, you have to lobby for this development. It will not come on a silver platter, and we know that the national cake has to be divided, and you have to have strong lobbying skills to have your fair share of it. And I think that...
But isn't this kind of promises and expectations, it raises expectations. People then expect you to deliver on some of the things you talked about.
Yes.
Youth unemployment. It's not in your domain to bring you employment to the constituency.
Well,
if the reality is you can't do anything about it.
You can do something about
it. What can you do about it as a member of Parliament about the teaming youth to unemployment in your constituency? Realistically, walk me through it.
I've already told you that as a member of Parliament, you help with formulation of policy. So you must be able to do something about it.
No, but you don't help in the formulation of policy. The policy is the prerogative of the executive. They come to you.
Yes.
If it's legally to approve it.
Yes.
We know what happens in Ghana. You are a rubber stamp if your party is in power. you don't help. If the president decides in cabinet, that is what I want, that's what he gets.
Yes, but before
John Kuma, member of Parliament, if you win, has absolutely no say, except you get to be a minister and you sit in cabinet, then maybe you can have a say.
Yes, that is true. But even if you are not in cabinet, you have friends who are in cabinet. And he said the president decides. Before the president decides, he does a lot of consultation. And it is your duty to do the necessary research, the necessary contribution to influence the kind of policy and legal directions that we have in the country.
You can't do that as a member of Parliament.
Well, if you don't do that to meet the aspiration of your people...
My point is, it's good to have that ambition.
Yes.
But the reality is, what you're saying is impossible to do.
Well, it is possible, and I have seen it.
To influence.
Oh, yes. If you
government policy.
Oh, yes.
One member of Parliament. It's impossible.
It doesn't have to be you alone, but all changes in the world have always started by one person.
Goodness me. This is idealistic.
Well, no.
At best. Utopian.
Why?
At worst. It doesn't. This is Ghana politics. You're saying one NPP MP for Ejuso, if you win,
yes,
can influence government policy for his constituency?
Why not? For instance, let me give an example. We have one crying land port in Ejuso. The youth of our people don't have jobs. If I'm the member of Parliament, why can't I influence that project to be implemented?
How?
Why
not?
How
are you going to influence that policy?
Every means possible. Legitimate means to lobby. You should be able to lobby. You should be able to go to the right quarters to make sure that that project takes off, because part of the national agenda. So it's your ability to influence directions of the government that will bring the intended impact on your people. That's just one example. A number of other steps you can take.
But if that's the case, you talk about using your influence.
Yes.
Mr. Ojomi, who is a deputy transport roads minister, has more of that than you do. He's right in government there.
Well, your ability to, if you have the influence, is different from your willingness to use the influence. I am saying that it will be part of my project and my mandate to lobby for results for the people. And I am not saying that he is not maybe lobbying, but I'm saying if we have to have jobs for the youth, then we have to find it. It means if you cannot do it alone, you have to talk to people who are in the position to take the decisions. And as a member of Parliament, you cannot sit only in Parliament and decide that you're making laws. You have to be concerned about the sanitation situation in your constituency. You have to be concerned about the education standards of your constituency. You have to be concerned about the health situation of your constituency. And so you cannot just sit down and say you are not the health minister, so you are not going to influence health standards in your constituency. I will be able to do that if I'm in the member of parliament, because it's a matter of setting the agenda and making sure you talk to the right people who have the mandate to make the decisions.
How many members of parliament do you know who have been able to do what you're suggesting successfully?
But I presume all effective members of parliament do that. I have a number of members of parliament who comes to my office to lobby for support for entrepreneurs in their constituency. That is what you do as a member of parliament. You walk to places where there are opportunities for your people. And I think I'll be able to do that better if I'm the MP for Ejoso.
I mean, Vincent, I want to stay on this theme because it's become one of the biggest talking points when it comes to members of parliament. He says he wants to change. You say you want to go to parliament, represent the people well. Every member of parliament says that. But when they go into parliament, they find that it's easier said than done, especially even when your party's in power. What's your position on that conversation, that members of parliament shouldn't go anywhere close to making promises about delivering development or helping to do that, because that is not your place?
Well, it's a very sophisticated argument, and I'll tell you why. As a communications director for the Ministry of Education, there are quite a number of things that I've been able to do for my constituents that I don't need to be a member of parliament before I could do those things for them.
Such as?
As he rightly said, there are a number of members of parliament who visit his office and lobby for some support schemes for his constituents. Same things that we've done for our constituents, lobbying for scholarships for the needy but brilliant students in our constituencies, supporting them with placement of schools if needs be, and what have you. And so the member of parliament is not just about the tried knowledge that we know that you are supposed to be legislating. No, you are supposed to be able to lobby for developmental projects to your constituent, because that is what they are looking at. See, if you go to Tafo Pankrono today, there are quite a number of them who are looking up to their member of parliament to be able to give them some amount of jobs, and they will be able to get that through probably support systems. And there are some of them who are looking for some factories or some industry to be set up in that constituency. Part of Swami magazine is found in the constituency, and so a member of parliament could walk to any province in China, for example, Fujian province, and say, hey, if it's possible for you, why don't you set up an industry, a tie industry? Or it is easier. You know why it is easier.
Things like,
member of parliament, as a member of parliament,
and ask them to set up in your.
How many factories do we have?
Even at government to government level, that sort of thing is difficult to do. Not let one member of parliament in a small, tiny, insignificant and global scheme country like Ghana.
These are direct investments that you could go and lobby for your people. If you find a businessman that sees it worthy of investing in your constituency, especially when you are going to have that set or skill set, you have people who are able to do that. Because if you go to Swami magazine today, there are people who are doing marvelous things that this country will be able to contribute to their development. And these business or this direct investment will be able to equip them to be able to do better. So I'm saying that irrespective of the fact that we know that the duties of a member of parliament is supposed to be legislating and having financial responsibility or oversight responsibility over the executive, the member of parliament could or should be able to lobby developmental projects to aid people, because the people who are voting for you are looking up to you so that their thinkings and their aspirations will be realized. Because as a member of parliament, if you say that you are going to limit yourself to only legislating, trust me, the next 4 years they are going to kick you out, because they themselves know.
So be it.
because if you want to serve your people, you need to, because I am a PhD student in public administration, and if you are forming up a policy, you need to listen to your people. Whatever they want is what you should try as much as possible to be able to do for them.
Have you heard members of parliament complain that the expectations on them are simply impossible and overwhelming, and they can't deliver? In fact, when they go to parliament, they then begin to advocate a change in the mindset of the people to shift the focus on them as development agents Haven't any of you heard that from sitting members of parliament?
Oh, it's really
The last
normal,
time
especially
CBU
for us as
the
aspirants.
project, the MPs at that event were begging the civil society groups to go down the communities and reorient their minds. Two of you sit here tonight and tell me that that is what exactly you're going to be doing. Tell the people that you can facilitate development.
See, I have already told
When
you
you
that.
get there,
I've already told you that. I've already told you that I am
not.
not a member of parliament. But since 2017, there are quite a number of things I've been able to give to my constituents.
Such as I mentioned, give
I
me an
have
example.
told you that I have lobbied for scholarship for needy but brilliant students in the constituency. I have been able to lobby jobs or recruitment for the people in the constituency. And you don't need to be a member of parliament before you can do these things. But if you become a member of parliament, hey, these are the expectations of the people. You should be able to meet them, or you are kicked out in the next elections.
John?
Yeah, I mean, that's an obligation on you as a member of parliament. I mean, but come to think about it, in our development environment, if you leave development only in the hands of government, as in executive, how are we going to see development in our various places?
Do you know the quantum of your MP's common fund?
It will not be based on
sometimes 80,000
but
CDs.
But that's the error. It will not be based on your common fund. Let me tell you, we did a research in my constituency, Juso, and as a CEO, the little I have been able to do, even in my capacity as CEO, is that we found out that sanitation was one of the key problems in many of the communities in Ejuso. So I lobbied for toilet facilities. I mean, modern biodigester toilet facilities to about 30 communities.
How did you do the lobby, and who did you lobby?
You know, there was this Ghana First toilet project that was started by a private person in partnership with government. So I contacted them to make sure that they sent some of these toilet facilities to Ejuso. And we were able, as we speak, about 30 communities have 60% to 90% completion stages of these toilet facilities, addressing the number one concern out of the research. Number two was security and light problems. And so I had to talk to people who could help us with street lights and bulbs to support the community. And we have been able to secure 2,000 bulbs and about 500 street lights to help the people. It doesn't have to come from your pocket. You have to identify the problem and then find a solution to it. When the community sees that you are making intervention, some parents have their students, qualified to go to university, but they don't have the resources. Then you know where the get fund is, you know where the scholarship secretariat is. You don't say you are an MP, so yours is to sit in parliament to make laws. You have to lead them, assist them to to write the proper application and follow up for them, so that they can get these scholarships. These are the interventions the constituents expect of you to do to make impact in their communities. The youth, like I told you, we like football in Ejuso. So you should be able to bring us jerseys and football. You have to find them and support what the community expectation of you is.
You are education ministry, so you talk about, you secure scholarships for people. Easy to say that because education ministry, it's
Education ministry doesn't offer.
But to be fair, so
scholarship.
many of the MPs are doing it. I mean, to be fair, some
absolutely.
MPs are even doing work and pay for.
They themselves are even paying for
Yeah,
their
so,
pockets.
I mean, let's not make it look like some MPs are not doing
No.
it. No, but some MPs are doing work and pay for taxis and other stuff
Yeah, I've
for
seen
their
that suppose
constituents.
taxis around today.
Honorable Alex Markin has been doing a lot for people in Winnipeg, giving hardboard motors for his people, because that's what the people want. So you cannot say that all the MPs are complaining. First, even though you are complaining, you have to find solutions to the problem.
Yeah, incumbent members of parliament.
You need to find solutions to the problems.
And if you're in the good books of the powers that be, you get a good position. You can use that. Like right now, both
not
of you have
necessarily.
positions that you can leverage.
Yes, but I've told you that a lot of MPs come to us, those with positions,
but that's my point.
To lobby for those.
When you go to parliament, you lose this position you currently
Yeah,
hold.
so whoever is there, if I have,
go and lobby
I have to go and lobby. And even now that I have a position, if I need something which is outside my office, I have to go and lobby.
Switch this if your party, and I'm using F here, loses the elections and you are in opposition.
Yes. You're a member of parliament.
How do you realize these lofty ambitions of yours of lobbying, because your party is no longer in power?
You don't have to be in power. As long as you're a member of parliament, as we are speaking, the MPs who come to us are not only NPP MPs. I mean, as long as you're a member of parliament,
more inclined, to be honest,
obviously, you stand a huge advantage if you're in government.
But that is my point.
But that notwithstanding, I mean, did you see the performance of the MPs in the latest research that came?
Yeah.
Some of the opposition MPs are doing marvelous. So it is not about whether you are in government or in opposition. It depends on your program and how you intend to carry it out. I mean, in parliament, you are all friends, even though when it comes to debate, you are shouting. You can always go to your friend on the other side to lobby for projects for your people. It's a matter of setting the agenda and having an implementation that help you to deliver it.
I'm going to take a break. When I return, I'll ask them about how they're going to finance this. I mean, there's a primary, and research is out there from CDD, I'll quote it, that talks about the average spend in primaries. And then you go into a major elections, assuming they both win. And as we did with the NDC, every person who came on the show in the lead up to the NDC primary won theirs. Assuming they win. Yes. So that's a good point to note there. Assuming they win, then they have to face the main election. Do they have the resources to pull it off? We'll talk about that when we return. Stay with us. We're live on PM Express. My guest in the studio is Vincent Akosafua. He is the aspiring member of parliament for Tafo, one of those key constituencies. The incumbent there is a well-known economist, minister for monitoring and evaluation, Dr. Anthony Akotose. He's seeking to take the seat because Dr. Anthony Akotose has vacated it. John Kumar is also an entrepreneur. He heads the good initiative that this current government started, dealing with entrepreneurs for the youth. And he's also seeking to go into parliament in Ejusu. His problem is that there's an incumbent there who is a deputy minister who hasn't relinquished that position. And so he's coming up against him. I want to talk about a very sensitive subject. Anytime you talk about primaries and elections, campaigning, cost. There's a very famous CDD report released in 2018, tracked campaign spending for members of parliament between 2012 and 2016. And they found that campaign costs had gone up by as much as 59%. 59%. And it was costing on the average 390,000 cedis. 390,000 cedis on the average to carry out a successful campaign at the party and constituency level. So if you're using that average, a jump of 59% between 2012 and 2016, and you apply that average, I guess, to 2016, 2020, a rise of an additional 59%, let's keep it that way, just, all things remaining constant, that is 390,000 divided to add that to it. We're talking about in the region of what? An additional 200,000 to that. That is what? 600,000 cedis. They're about. They're laughing. 600,000 cedis. And I'm pretty sure I'm being conservative here. 600,000. That's almost 1 million Ghana cedis. Echo. You have that kind of money.
Let me tell you something. My nomination forms was paid by a friend who believes that young people should also go into parliament and their voices should be heard. My filing fees was also paid by a group of friends who also believe that, because the money that you are talking about, hey, I don't have it. but I know that the people of Tafo Pankrono, based on our track record and based on our commitment to them, and the kind of things that we have been able to do for them, at least since the beginning of this government, they are going to give us the mandate to serve them better.
Yeah, but you
because
have to spend.
I'm telling you that
you have to spend.
Since 2004, there have not been any competition in our constituency.
Yes.
The people of
Now
Tafo Pankrono, the people of Tafo Pankrono believes that if you are a member of parliament and you are serving them right, you don't need to pay any money to anybody.
No. Let's get this straight.
I'm giving you the history.
I get it. You're going the two legs of this.
Yes.
Primaries.
Yes.
In the primary, you have to spend. You have to campaign. Your posters have to go out there.
Yes.
You have to walk the length and breadth of your constituency. That costs money.
Absolutely.
And the research says average.
But you should
390,000.
You should be able to be a good mobilizer before you can enter into some of these things. If you are not a good mobilizer, then hey, you can't venture into
mobilize what? Cash?
Mobilize
money?
resources. You need to be able to have friends who have confidence in you to contribute their penny, to contribute their CD to
Why
your
would
campaign.
anybody want to put 400,000 CDs in your campaign?
Where
Why?
from the 400,000?
Say again?
Where from the 400,000?
I'm talking about
Are you
the
saying
research.
nobody can also spend, or anybody can't spend, say, 100,000 to also win an election?
No, but this is the average.
The 400,000 is not
This is
cast in
research.
stone.
This
So
is
it
research.
depends,
This is
depends on
CDB
your
research.
constituency. I am saying that it's about the belief that your people have in you. For me, it's not about the resources.
Charlie, this is Ghana we did.
For me, it's not about the
believe we could
resources.
top.
No.
That's what. Be honest. That is what the delegates will tell you.
You need to have a campaign that should be lubricated as far as resources is concerned. But it's not supposed to be the utmost need for you to be able to win an election. For me, the Tafu Pankrono delegates or the Tafu Pankrono constituents, we want to vote for somebody who can represent them better.
Not big, the
somebody
person
who can bring them some
the
amount.
biggest pocket.
Absolutely not. If it's about biggest pocket, then hey, I'm not part of it.
But you must have a budget. How much are you budgeting to spend?
I don't have any budget as we speak.
Really?
As and when I'm able to mobilize.
Are you taking this seriously?
Absolutely. As
You
and
must
when
have a budget.
friends have committed to contribute. Friends who believes in my person says that they are going to support you. As and when resources are needed and I go to them, they give to me. But I am going to concentrate.
Are you spending your own money at all?
Absolutely. What I have is what I'm spending.
Which is what? Which is how much?
And you want me to put this out here?
Of course. In the interest of transparency. How much are you willing
but
to
trust
spend
me,
on this
trust me,
endeavor of yours?
The elections in Tafu Pankrono is not about who is going to spend what or how much.
That's what you think.
That is what I know because of how Dr. Antonia Koto was able to handle the constituency. He was able to handle the constituency based on adequate representation, effective and robust representation of the people of the Tafu Pankrono. So if you're able to fill that gap, if that huge shoes that he has left,
you have to win the primary first before you even fill that gap.
That is why I said that since 2007, what you've done for the constituency should be able to speak enough for you.
Yeah, but I get that. I get that. But I return to
because
the old
you're fixated about the money issues.
No,
it's not about the money.
I'm saying to you, I'm not saying research says it's key. It's key. And you must definitely have a budget going into it. You say you're relying on friends. As and when. I mean, in this serious
because I have people who believe in me.
Do you have a war machine though? Has this been
I have people who believe in me. And
you have a ground game. You have a ground game.
I have been able to sustain this campaign since last year, September.
How much have you spent so far? How much have you spent so far?
Well, I'm unable to put numbers to it.
Give me a rough figure.
But I know that at least I bought a form of 2,000 and I filed at 2,000, 25,000.
Your salary should take care of that easily.
I have not even been paid ever since I entered the Ministry of Education.
You haven't been paid?
Absolutely.
I don't believe that.
I'm telling you,
you're working
because it will come. Not that it won't come. No, it will come.
I mean, I don't believe that.
I'm telling you.
How long have you been at the education ministry?
2.5 years now.
Is it 2.5 years?
I have not been paid. Yes, but it will come.
But how do you live? How do you survive on? What do you survive on?
Well, is that the topic for discussion?
No,
today?
I'm curious. I mean, you're going into parliament, but this is the thing about wanting to represent the people. Once you enter this arena, everything about you is fair game.
Before 2017, Vincent has been one of the business guys in the New Patriotic Party, and everybody knows. And I think John Kumar is even aware that I'm one of the young guys who have been going to China to be doing a whole lot of things for the party people. Apart from that, I own my own shops even before.
Oh, you have shops?
Absolutely. So
you have your own personal subsistence?
Absolutely. So okay. I don't need to live on my salary because I know how to fish.
No, but it's a good story to tell if indeed you're working in service of your country.
Yes.
You're not taking salary. It's a good.
I didn't say I'm not taking salary.
So you haven't been
I said
yet.
I have not been. I have not received any salary yet. But the salary will come.
I get it, but you're still working in service of this country.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't been an issue for you. You haven't said down tools. My point is, it's a good story to tell in a campaign where you can say to people, "Listen, I haven't been paid. I am serving." And that is the same service I'm going to bring to you, whether. So you have to pay me for that consultancy, by the way. John, I need to come to you on that last point about cost.
Yes.
You must have a budget. You've done this before.
Yes.
You know how much it cost you in 2016
Yes.
to run that primary.
Yes. Well, politics globally is expensive, and especially democracy. But I have watched various campaigns where billionaires have run with big monies and lost. I just watched
Bloomberg half a billion
and lost bitterly.
In one Tuesday, a loss, yeah.
So, I mean, Joe Biden didn't show any massive resourcefulness, but yet he's winning. So, I mean, Barack Obama initially was just asking people for $1 and $2, and yet he was able to become president. It's a similar approach of talking to friends and people who believe in your vision. You must be able to convince people that you have a vision. And like I told you, as an entrepreneur, I always tell people money is not your first option. Your first option is the vision. Where do you want to go? The clarity of the vision and how concise it is attracts people to come and invest in it. And so it's not really about the numbers that you have put out there. I mean, few people can have their salary showing that figure.
That's why you're laughing.
But yes, but it is true.
But that's the reality.
I agree with it. I totally agree with it.
Even more.
Or even more, of course, depending on which constituency you are running, you will spend more. But more also not in terms of fiscal cash. Others will come donating T-shirts, and I have friends bringing T-shirts. Some will come in donating some, products and sometimes items for you to distribute in support of the campaign. So clearly, I totally agree that by the end, when you put all that cost, even your transportation every weekend or every other weekend, traveling to your constituency and attending funeral, you understand, one weekend funeral donations alone can take a chunk of your entire monthly salary. Yeah. So yes, we agree that the reality of politics is very expensive, and you have to rely on friends.
Do you have what it takes?
Yes, I do. And like I told you, you don't have to have the money.
Others must have.
Others must have.
But why would anybody invest? You say invest.
Oh, yes.
And that word is important.
Yes.
Because when you invest, you expect a return.
Yes.
What return are they getting on investment?
Those who invested in the vision of President Akufo-Addo are seeing the returns of better education for their country today. So
what's the return on John Kuma's investment? When I invest in John Kuma, what the return should I expect?
A better future for Ejuso, and of course for Ghana. I mean, you're going to have one of the
better future we go chop. What's that?
Yes,
what does that mean? What is a better future?
We are chopping a better future in education under President Akufo-Addo.
Yeah, but it's tangible. My brother has gone to school for free.
Yes.
That is 1,500 CDs.
Yes.
That I would have used to pay school fees.
Yes.
That is in my pocket.
Yes.
Tangible.
Yes.
What is the return of investment on John Kuma if I make that
investment? A lot of good returns.
But you haven't said anything.
Well, you don't have to say anything because now you don't have the opportunity.
No, but you have to sell. You are an entrepreneur.
I understand.
You have to sell that vision and make it tangible.
I've already told you that for people to even invest in you, they must see it in you. Sometimes you don't even have to talk. They live with you, they've gone to school with you, they have seen you.
You're on national television.
I understand.
I'm asking you to sell.
I am selling.
And you are not giving me anything that I can touch, I can feel. You have mentioned Nanado. You've mentioned education. Tangible. I feel it in my pocket because my brother is in school. I'm saying, if I make that investment in you, what's my return?
When Nana was raising resources to campaign and was saying he would bring free education, few people believed in him.
No.
No, I'm coming. It wasn't tangible at the time. They actually ridiculed him.
Yeah, they did.
They actually ridiculed him. So
that's politics.
It's the same thing I'm saying today.
The majority bought that idea.
Exactly.
And I'm
eventually,
saying you have an opportunity right now in the next few minutes to make that point about what are people going to get when they make that investment on you.
If you make that investment in John Kuma, you're going to have one of the finest parliamentarians for Ghana.
What does that mean, really? For the people of seriously, I mean, I'm bewildered.
What does that mean? Is that I've already told you about the vision for the place. And you need to have people understanding that you have a vision to bring to the people of Ejuso and, of course, into Ghana Parliament to make a change that will help bring Ghana closer to the ultimate vision of development of our country. And I am saying that if you invest in John Kuma, you are investing into the future of Ghana, where you are sure that our future direction in terms of ultimate development for our country is being enhanced.
Final question, final question on this. A follow-up to that question is the fear of corruption, right? Yeah. Which is that you say investment, and I say there must be a return. You've told me the return, people need to make a judgment whether they see the return or not. But members of parliament sometimes find themselves having taken all this money from making all these promises, can deliver and have to cut corners. Because you want to win, you go for the money. People promise, you promise stuff. Well, what's your reaction to that?
Well, people who are corrupt not necessarily give monies to those who supported their campaign. I am yet to see that link in corruption. People become corrupt by their own values. If you invest in somebody who becomes successful in his campaign, there are a number of opportunities that he can also offer you in future. For instance, we just spoke about maybe assisting you in securing a project or getting a scholarship. No, where is the corruption in that? Your role as a parliamentarian is to be able to lobby.
So assisting the person to get a contract when the person doesn't qualify.
Why don't you qualify? If he doesn't qualify, assist him to qualify.
Well, let me bring in
what is wrong with that?
Vincent, same question to you, and this is also your opportunity to sell. You say you're also doing same. People have to invest in you because they believe in your vision. What's the return on that investment?
I think that you are making a mistake. I'm saying this because, are you saying that there are people in this country who don't want to see better leadership and bring prosperity to their people, and for that matter, they will invest into a candidate or they invest into a leader?
I'm saying
because
I'm saying in politics, in Ghana, it will be very rare to find somebody who will simply give you money because he's altruistic.
I disagree with you.
It is not so.
I'm saying there are people like that, but they are rare. Altruistic people who just pump money because they like
because of where you sit, you don't see them. Because
of where we sit, they are thinking about the future of their community, and a lot of people
because they simply like it. They don't want anything back from you. They'll just give you money to do
Absolutely. There are people who are just interested in seeing young people or seeing people to speak vociferously for them in parliament. And so I don't think that you necessarily have to give something in return for any sponsorship that is given to a candidate. Absolutely.
That if people who are putting money in you are simply doing that because they like your vision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they don't want anything back.
To see you in parliament.
So many of them.
Okay.
And I think maybe in your analysis you are thinking the 390,000 is coming from one person.
Yes.
It's just coming in bits, 100 cities, 200 cities. Friends are able to give that money without expecting anything in return.
Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck in your campaigns.
Thank you.
And your ability to raise
But anybody who appears on your show actually wins.
Wins election. Everybody who has appeared has won.
The people of Tafu Pankone is watching.
I give it up on to sell.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, they bought it. But enjoy the rest of your evening more as we approach the primary on April 25th.
Yes.